Hello, everyone. Today we will discuss about an end-to-end project overview of transforming data from manual system to a relational database systems. So basically, in the manual system, I would say manual system. I mean the data was entered into the Excel sheets taken from the paper-based documents, and then all these reports are prepared for the management. And I will highlight what are the issues and drawbacks of this kind of system, and then how we transform this into a relational database modeling and develop the integrated system which where we will have the perpetual inventory, data entry, and costing calculations and all this information very faster, very correct, timely as compared to the manual system. So let's start. So we are at the businessintelligence.pi homepage, and first we will go to. I've already discussed this um, case study, but let's start again, and we will. I will demonstrate all these software uh, which we created from scratch. So basically, this is business intelligence, business case study, transforming S&B Textiles with business intelligence BI. Uh, so here we just to give you the background again about this company. This company has is a garment manufacturing, in-house knitting, dyeing, and garments unit, and they were initially they were in the previous management they were using the manual system, and while it was when it was acquired by the new management, because of their this unit become a sick unit, and this new management transformed all this data work. Okay, so let's give you an overview of how this key information was handled in the manual system. So basically, in this process, the dyeing, which was the most cost intensive process, where the dyes and chemicals of thousands of different varieties, shades, and quality levels made up about 60% of the dyeing costs. And these were all handled by the manual Excel based system. The previous cost management was inefficient, Excel based calculations and all these. And I will give you the sheets. I will show you how they were doing previously and how it was transformed from this to another into a database systems. So basically, what they were doing is the most important part of the dyeing process was the dyeing recipe. Dyeing recipe controls basically that records all these dyes and chemicals used for one dyeing order, and these were initially these were entered into the paper-based system, and all these costs were calculated on the papers. So there's a big files containing all each and every recipe with the costs and all that. and what chemicals were used. And this, the production, the screenshot which we have right now, it's a Excel based summary of each recipe. For example, this is the recipe, this is source, this is a customer, this is the machine name, the color, fabric, total lot, process, in time, out time, total hours, rate per kg, amount. So that's how they were they were taking all this data from papers and putting it into the Excel sheet. And the company, no doubt, I would say that the company was going into losses because of the lot of wastages in the dyes and chemicals. Because there were thousand dyes, thousands of colors, shades, and who knows what's happening inside the store of the dyes and chemicals. And the company was basically having huge losses, and eventually it was acquired by the new management. So these are the daily production reports. This, that, that, and that. And I will show you one more. There is one more report we have. Mm. It's another sheet which shows the chemicals dyes cost for the month. How much? That's how it is beyond my. It's very hard to understand what's happening inside the store unless someone spent hours of hours looking into the papers and then verifying if this information is correct or not, right? This chemicals and dyes cost with production made like this, and then they have how much chemicals or how much dyeing production, how much this and that. So once hired by the once acquired, this unit was acquired by the new management. They eventually gradually they removed all this Excel based system and they moved to a database system. Initially, they started from the Microsoft Access, modeled the data, and then developed all this information which was existing in the manual system into an real-time uh, database and information reporting, real-time reporting. So let's go to the uh, from this shift to the Microsoft Access database system. So this all system was transformed from there to relational databases as in when the new management acquired. So let's go to the Microsoft Access. So this was basically the new management developed in-house software to record all this information and to calculate the cost relating to the dyeing in respect of dyes and chemicals. So let's start from the beginning. That is the first form. It's dyeing complete data. So this dyeing complete data have all these links to the forms and reports which extract the key information and as well as the entry of the key information for the cost calculating. So benefit of this system was implementation of relational database, centralized data entry, automated issuance and perpetual entry, strict in data integrity controls, enhanced cost management and forecasting, real-time access and tracking, daily monitoring and reporting, benefits and impact, efficiency and accuracy, elimination of manual process and all that, operational improvement, improved production planning, increased accountability and transparency, and further we moved into the data warehousing for advanced analytics, conclusion and all. So let's go back to the uh, this software. So I will show you how this software works and how we develop that, and based on what they have in the manual system. Okay. So in the dyeing process, the key ingredient, a key uh, key document is the recipe information. Basically, the recipe includes all the dyes chemicals used for the fabric, each dyeing lot, right? So we developed it's a recipe detail form. That is the form. So that form basically enter all these shades, lot number, selling price, processes, and customers. This software is not specific to the dyeing. It can be used in many other areas. Can be adopted to many other inventory control systems. So basically, let's go through with that. So this is the main information we calculate, we enter to control the dyeing costing. First of all, we have a document which shows uh, the what is the recipe number, what is the color of the shade, fabric, what was the fabric, and all that, right? And once this information is entered, we have to move to the stores, and which the store enters the dyes and chemicals relating to this specific order. So let's go to uh, the next form. So in this, once we have entered information into the first level, we have entered in information in the recipe number, then we issue the dyes and chemicals. So here we have to enter like recipe number, right? So this is the recipe number. Okay, see, this is the recipe number. Once it's entered, we enter this one and what date it started. Right? Here we do not have the date. It's just the information they got that that's the this master level information, that this is the basic details of the recipe. Now once once this has received, we have to issue dyes and chemicals for this particular recipe number 167. So in this we go there and then we enter this one, and here we enter the dates, and we enter the date, and then we enter the transaction date is also automatically moved there, and there we enter all the chemicals and dyes. So let's say what was this 167, and then let's go to the reports by recipe number. Let's see. So basically from this form they enter all this information relating to this recipe. See, and this the what was the process, like this, how much quantity was issued, and how much what dyes and chemicals were issued, quantity issued or received, and all that. So, and here we have once this information is entered here, we can check the recipes. Let's say 30th. So here we this report basically what we entered into the uh, recipe information, all that we can run a report and see what happened, what was in the recipes, what was used in the recipes. So basically, this is recipe and dyeing, recipe number, recipe ID, all this machine, the customer name, fabrics, this total cost, average cost, price, 359. This is a header. And what was issued? There are kind of very reactive dyes. There are auxiliaries, general chemicals, and all that. So in the heading of the reactive dyes, these were issues. Let's see this one, date one. Mm. This is the latest version of the same recipe. Okay. This is the recipe number, shade, fabric, lot weight, machine number, fixed margin, total cost, and these are the dyes and chemicals used in this recipe. See this, there's a difference. I will show you what was the difference between this system and the Microsoft Excel system. Here we have everything flows from these within the system. There's nothing is going to the paper-based system and then copying from the paper to Microsoft Excel. This is real-time data entered into the database. I will show you the database also. So that's how this system works. This is the start of recipe 33 and this is the end of recipe number this. So it shows you the average total cost of the recipe, total value we received from that, average cost. Average cost is basically total weight divided by lot weight is 813. So 865, for example. For example, 65942 divided by lot weight 813. So if we divide this total cost divided by this average cost per kg, we have that, right? And total price is 220. That per kg we will receive. That's the cost per kg. Fixed margin is basically 220 months. So that says that if we take this cost from the price, we have this much of profit. Since this portion is just to the dyes and chemicals, we also have other ingredients which are not that complicated to calculate, which are dyes, which are electricity and gas and labor portion. So we will add on top of 81, and then we will get our net profit. But we must have our uh, this information like average cost, price, and all that. So we should know what's happening here and how are we in a profitability side or in the loss side. This is all calculated in real time, which was impossible and needs like lot of uh, time consuming, which need a lot of time to develop this kind of reports from existing. That's why I think one of the main reason the company was not performing well. Okay. So now we go to another report, which is just a summary of that. Here we have all the details, and now let's see summary of the same. So the same summary, 330, but up to this level, 330. We don't have all the details, but we want to know important metrics. Uh, what was the total cost? What was the total revenue? Average cost, price, fixed margin 30, cost to revenue ratio. Basically, that cost to revenue ratio is calculated, which is 3.37. That shows that cost is the fixed margin, we have the revenue. So 81 is almost 37% of the 220 cost versus the price we received is 37%. That's how, and we all these recipes are here for the month of June, June 1st to 30th June of 2020. That's the functionality, and now we'll go to this stock report. Stock is based on as is, date as is, right? So if we're running today, it will give us that what's in the store. So this in this calculation, the stock is automatically calculated. Once the dies are entered, these are included into the received section. Once they are issued, these are for the recipes or returns. These are minus from this one. So this is perpetual inventory, real time. Whatever comes in or whatever goes in, automatically calculated here. Nothing human involvement, and everything is updated, and we have a real time uh, stock position of each dyes or chemicals, right? So basically, in this, we also have the facility to recipe by customer ID, by recipe number, and a lot of we can see the data in a different ways, right? So for all this, this is the front end of the information. Let's give you some brief overview of what's happening at the back end. These are the tables we have: dyeing recipe, dyes chemicals, fabric, machines, process, shades, vendors. So all the data entry entered by the forms for the recipe, dyeing recipe comes here, right? Recipe ID, recipe number, customer ID, customer shade ID. This is a fact table. It's kind of a fact table which has uh, all the information entered from the forms, and this is the transaction table, stock. Here the data comes from like once the data is received or minus, it all goes here. This is the table which shows transaction ID, quantity, you see this all this information. These are the basically the recipe numbers against what material issued, where the quantity is credited, right? And then here we have the outward, or we receive the material and then the quantity is adapted. That's how this system is operating in the background. And we have the dimensions, customer dimensions, dyes, chemicals dimension, fabric dimension. You can see the data by machines, processes, shades, by vendors. So basically, our fact tables are, one is this, and we have two fact tables. One is the stock data, what's issue and all that, and the other one is recipe, time recipe, which calculates which record the costs, which records the revenue, prices, selling price of each, and then against all these, you see this recipe numbers is unique. One recipe, you will not see this number again in this table. We have almost 4 5,000 uh, records, but this is a unique number. But you will see this repetitively in this table, stock transaction, because whatever issued against it, this number will be added, attached to this issuance. Let's see. For example, this one, 167 recipe, we have issued these chemicals, these chemicals. These quantities were credited. These dyes, these IDs were, these chemicals were credited, and this recipe is being against this recipe, and their costs can be received from, for example, 106. We have dyes and chemicals. These prices, their IDs are, they are issued, they're used in this. So basically, it's a relational database, and I will show you the data model of our reporting system. If you see the design view, you see this is a dyeing recipe. That's how the business intelligence here we have, we are incorporating. We have further analytics from this data to analyze what is the cost, what colors, and what customers are more profitable, and so on. So this is the dyeing recipe table. Show you that dyeing recipe. You see this recipe ID, recipe number, lot weight, and all this information. Lot weight and all this. This table has all the information here, and that is related to shade, machine. These are the dimensions. Process, fabric, against what customers. So it basically this diagram you can we can clearly see where whose order was this recipe order, whose the dyeing order was, that belongs to this customer. What kind of fabric was used in this recipe? Here we have the fabric table. What was the process? What were the machines? This, and then this is further recipe ID is then linked to the recipe number in the stock transactions. And these are the chemicals. That's another fact transaction. That's another fact table which has recipe ID, and recipe has a lot of information related to that, and then it's further linked to the stock transaction. So, so all these chemicals or dyes, whatever issues against this recipe are here, which calculates all the costs related to this. All the costs are calculated here relating to this order, and this order shows whose order was that, what was the fabric, what was the all the information relating. Basically, that's how we developed that system. This is basically a business intelligence. We convert from a manual data processing, very primitive and very dangerous system to a very efficient system, which is more scalable depending on the company's businesses. We can upgrade it to the SQL server or on the cloud, or and further in business intelligence. We have developed also the Power BI reports and other analysis reports from this information. And lastly, we will further see categories. Basically, that's the system, and that's main. Again, we go back and then we'll uh, end this video. Let's go back to the forms. So basically, that is the dyeing complete data. It's a fabric dyeing complete business intelligence solution, including the perpetual inventory and all that. All the information is flow from this system, and which control a lot of which control and give the updated information to the management to make informed decision. And that's the we have that's all complete detail is on our this case study is on our blog businessintelligence.pi. Thank you everyone. I hope you guys it's a quite a lengthy video. uh, I will create another video how to basically develop this system step by step, creating tables, creating reports that deserve another complete video. Thank you.